Here's your wrestling news for October 18th, 2022, and we're kicking off today with some very concerning news from Hangman Adam Page, as last night's main event of Dynamite did not end as expected. In the final match of the night, which aired on Tuesday instead of Wednesday due to baseball, Page challenged Jon Moxley, but did not get up after taking a lariat from the AEW World Champion. Fans understood something was wrong the moment AEW's medical team got in the ring, and Moxley was declared the winner by default. As for Page, he had to be stretchered out of the arena, and in replays you can see how nasty the move was as Hangman's body twisted when taking the move. In an update, PW Insider reported that the belief is that he suffered a concussion, which was confirmed by AEW with a statement on Twitter. In that statement, it was added that Page was taken by medical personnel to a trauma center in Cincinnati, but was later discharged. While he has been discharged, Page will remain in AEW's concussion protocol and will therefore not be wrestling until the promotion's medical team say it is safe to do so. After the match, Moxley spoke to the crowd and said he hopes Page makes a speedy recovery and addressed the risks every wrestler takes when stepping foot in the ring. Moxley's well wishes were echoed on social media as countless others sent their messages of support, including Big E. The former WWE champion has been out for months due to suffering a broken neck in March, and on Twitter, Big E said he is praying for Hangman. One video that went viral on social media featured Tony Khan saying how AEW isn't too fond of centralized training, followed by several nasty bumps and injuries his roster have suffered. Injuries have become worryingly common in AEW, with Adam Cole spending the past 5 months out with a concussion and no sign of him returning anytime soon. With a concussion diagnosis, there is no time frame for when Page will be back, as we've all seen how concussions can derail or even end a career, and we're joining Big E and countless others in wishing him a speedy recovery. Luke Gallows and Karl Anderson turned to WWE over 2 years after the releases by the company. In Anderson's case, he returned despite being New Japan's never openweight champion and is still scheduled to appear at their upcoming Battle Autumn event on November 5th. Now Anderson's schedule has gotten even more interesting as during Raw, it was announced that he, Gallows, and AJ Styles will face the Judgment Day at Crown Jewel. That show will also take place on November 5th, meaning the openweight champion will not only be having 2 matches on the same night, but it will be in 2 different promotions and in 2 different countries. There have been reports that New Japan are hoping to keep using Gallows and Anderson up until Wrestle Kingdom 17 next January, and it'll be interesting to see how Anderson handles being on 2 different shows on the same night. Gallows and Anderson are just the latest superstars to return to WWE, but we may already know who's next to make a comeback. In November 2021, WWE released Frankie Monet after just a few months with the company, who fans will know best as Taya Valkyrie. Valkyrie never quite got the chance to show her skills in WWE, but she may be getting another chance if a recent trademark filing is to be believed. WWE filed for ownership of the term Lyra Valkyria on October 13th, and fans couldn't help but notice how similar this term is to Taya Valkyrie. Of course, this isn't confirmation that Taya is back with WWE, but it would make sense for her to return given that Triple H is now running things. Whatever the plan is, WWE now has a name ready for a superstar similar to Taya Valkyrie, but how this term gets used remains to be seen. Yesterday we reported on Charlie Haas, who concerned many with his recent behavior. Over the weekend, the former WWE superstar missed 3 events in Australia, and all attempts by the promotion to contact him had been unsuccessful. Not only did Haas miss the shows, but he hadn't even boarded the flight to Australia. But there is now a positive update. In a second statement from the All-Star Wrestling Australia promotion, they explained how Haas has been located and is safe, and said that his absence from the shows was due to a personal matter. Haas is still in the United States and is said to be fine, and is looking after his family during whatever this matter is. We don't know what exactly has kept Haas from the Australia shows, but the important thing is that he's okay, and we wish him and his family well. Last week, it was announced that the popular G4 TV has shut down only a year into the gaming network's relaunch. This has been particularly hard for Xavier Woods, as the gaming superstar had been a focal point of their content, but the clues were there for the King of the Ring. The Washington Post reports that the whole cast of Arena, a co-production with WWE, left before the network was shut down, aware of what was about to come. Former G4 employees told the Post that they were removed from internal communication channels like Slack and Google Drive without immediate explanation, all before they were told about G4 being canceled. Now Woods and his WWE production team won't be making any more content for at least the immediate future, and while G4 ending may have come as a shock to some, those working for the network had seen the writing on the wall for some time. Dakota Kai is a regular on Woods' Up Up Down Down YouTube channel and returned to WWE at SummerSlam after being released in May. At the time of her release, reports came out that Vince McMahon and other higher-ups did not see her as a main roster superstar, but that's exactly where she needed to be. As she explained on the Out of Character podcast, Kai believed that she had hit a wall in NXT, saying, "I definitely was at a point where I hit a wall, I guess. I had that character that sort of changed and was dealing with that for a year and seeing where I could take it, but I think I definitely was at a point in NXT where there really wasn't anything further that I could do. I've had a lot of different shots at the NXT Women's Championship, I was in multiple tag teams, I was with a lot of different people, and I loved all my experiences." If not for Triple H's rise to head of talent relations, Kai probably would have never returned to WWE and wouldn't be the main roster star / women's tag team champion she is today. As a member of Damage Control, Kai has arguably been on the most successful run of her WWE career, and the future looks bright for the Kiwi wrestler. Over to AEW, as the company has a large roster, arguably too large to some people, so not everyone can get time on TV. AEW only has a select number of hours they can feature the roster, but now a new series is in the works. Fightful Select report that AEW talent and staff were told this past week that a documentary series is in the works, which will focus on the behind-the-scenes work of a group of all-elite wrestling talent. Participation in the documentary series is entirely voluntary, and the report adds that filming is set to start next month and run for 6 weeks through to the December 14th Dynamite in Garland, Texas. Tony Khan will act as executive producer, alongside Sam Burns, executive producer of Shed Media, and the AEW Warner Bros. Discovery collab is expected to air in 2023. Given what's been happening backstage as of late in AEW, we expect Tony Khan will be extra careful when it comes to what makes the doc, as the company president seeks to give AEW some much-needed good publicity at this time. We've got an update on the Jeff Hardy case now, as the former WWE champion continues to be suspended without pay from AEW. In June, Hardy was charged with his third DUI in under a decade and will now have his day in court. PW Insider reports that Hardy will have a pre-trial hearing for his DUI-related charges in Florida this Wednesday, after the date faced multiple pushbacks. Hardy has waived his right to a speedy trial, which would have seen the matter resolved months ago, and based on court records, Jeff must attend the hearing this week. Tony Khan has said he supports Jeff and is pleased to hear that Hardy is seeking help for his substance problems, but that this is his one and only chance to get better in AEW. If convicted, Hardy could face a maximum 5 years behind bars, and we'll keep following this case as more information comes out. As you'll know if you have a subscription to Disney+, you can find close to anything on the popular streaming service, and now professional wrestling has come to Disney. In 2020, AAA and Marvel Comics announced a collaboration called Marvel Lucha Libre Edition, which saw Earth's mightiest heroes reimagined as Mexican luchadors for various properties, and now these luchadors are coming to life. As confirmed by AAA, a new series titled El Origen de la Mascara will begin airing on December 21st and see the Marvel characters compete as luchadors. Judging from the trailer and reactions on Twitter, the show seems very similar to the popular Lucha Underground, but with a superhero and supervillain twist. With their colorful costumes, feats of strength, and iconic masks, there's a clear crossover between luchadors and superheroes, and now fans of both genres will get to see them collide this December. Now, when Vince McMahon announced his retirement in July, nobody knew what would happen, as McMahon had ruled the wrestling world for longer than many of his superstars had lived. As a publicly traded company, many felt the stock price would take a blow with McMahon's controversial exit from WWE, but the opposite has happened. As first reported by PW Insider and later by CNBC, WWE's stock has reached a 52-week high, reaching a height of $76.90 per share. In their piece about the impressive stock, CNBC said that WWE handling COVID restrictions well will have played a factor, and also addressed the company increasingly becoming the subject of sale talks. WWE's high share price isn't the only good news, as morale backstage is said to have never been higher, so although McMahon is gone, the company he once led is doing incredibly well. When a young Dwayne Johnson debuted in the WWF in the 1996 Survivor Series, the young blue chipper was grinning from ear to ear as he appeared in Madison Square Garden. Making your debut at the world's most famous arena and being the sole survivor, Rocky Maivia had plenty to smile about, but his happy expression wasn't just his own reaction. Speaking to the New York Times to promote Black Adam, The Rock addressed his WWF debut and the edict he received from his boss at the time. "I was told, you can't smile enough. Vince McMahon told me that. You have to go out there and be grateful to be here." Doing what he was told, Rocky kept smiling, even as the fans started to turn on him, which would ultimately lead to his fantastic heel turn the following year. Now one of wrestling's biggest success stories and a leading man in Hollywood, The Rock once again has plenty to smile about, and we doubt anyone is ordering him to flash those pearly whites. And we're ending with WWE NXT, which once called Full Sail University home, but now operates from WWE's Performance Center. Due to lockdowns, NXT also stopped touring over the past 2 years, but has recently began hosting shows outside of the PC. Speaking to TV Insider, WWE's head of NXT and senior VP of Talent Development Creative, Shawn Michaels, was asked about whether NXT will tour more in the coming years and said that this is absolutely the plan. Michaels added that the Stand and Deliver event, which took place during WrestleMania week, was the first time many NXT superstars had ever competed outside of the center, and he has every intention of doing that again. With NXT 2.0 reverting back to being WWE NXT, the Gold brand has undergone a ton of changes over the past 13 months, but there's few people better to lead the future of the company than HBK. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.